Hi everyone, my name is Elena and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I usually post. Today I'm going to be talking about the Feel the Yarn contest for new designers. To say a few words about Feel the Yarn, they are all about yarns and knitwear, as the name suggests. So if you go on their website, you will see that they've got a magazine. They organize different contests for students, for graduates, for young knitwear designers, and you should definitely go check them out and follow them on Instagram. I'm going to leave a link in the description. It is a great place to go if you want to get inspired and you are a knitwear designer. So let's talk a bit about the contest. Basically, you have to apply for this contest, and I did that around January. Someone messaged me and said, hey, there is this contest for young knitwear designers. I think you should apply. And then I did, of course. And I was so excited when I received the email telling me I was accepted to participate. I was very happy, but also very nervous because I've never done anything like this before. When I applied for the contest, I had to submit a draft of the 2 outfits that I was going to make and give as much information about the yarn as possible. And that is because I was going to then be matched with an Italian spinner, and they were going to provide the yarn for me to complete this outfit. The theme of the contest this year was fluid. So when I first heard the word fluid, my initial instinct was to go to viscose, to create a floaty, light fabric, and I did that. I did a few samples before I applied, and I didn't really feel inspired by them because it was not really me. You might know already about me that I really enjoy doing hand manipulated work on the machine, so I decided to focus on the fluidity of the stitches and try to create different shapes and different textures by doing transfers, and ladders as well was something that I really wanted to do and explore. And this is what I did, and I will show you my journey. So as I was telling you before, from the draft that I submitted, I was paired with an Italian spinner, and my Italian spinner was Filartex. Shortly after, they sent me all their shade cards with the yarn available, and I could choose, as long as it was in stock, any color and any yarn that I wanted. They also twisted yarns for me so I can use them on my standard machine. From the yarn selection that I received, I chose some mercerized cotton, some organic cotton, and a different kind of cotton, basically mostly cottons. I would have preferred a merino wool for the trousers. You will see later on why, but I'm really grateful, and I'm happy to have received all the yarn that I received, and I had to work with what I got. I chose really simple colors, light colors, cream and blue, because I prefer to focus on the stitch and on the technique rather than the color. So for me, it's always texture over color. So I'm going to show you a few clips now and a few photos from the process, and at the end I will show you the final pieces. We'll start with the first outfit, a cable dress. Again, if you know me, you know I love cables. It's probably my favorite technique. The first part that I created from this dress is the skirt part. I made that from 18 different cable panels, and they get larger at the bottom, and that will create flare. For the top part, I connected the larger cables and continued with normal, smaller cables. The process was, I knitted the skirt, then I started the cables, and then I linked them and then reattached them on the machine and continued. Sorry if that doesn't make any sense. It's just the way I approached it. If I would make this dress again, I would make it in a different way, and I know this is just a sample, so if it's ever going to go into production or if I'm going to make anything to sell, I know exactly how to approach this next time. I'm planning to make more garments like this and maybe make a few variations of this. Maybe if anyone is interested to buy, please follow me on Instagram and I will announce that there. So to make this dress, it took me around 7 days, so a week. And they were really long days sometimes, so it was probably a bit more than that. Moving on to the second outfit, I made a pair of trousers and a top. I really wanted to challenge myself and knit a pair of trousers. I have made woven trousers before, but I have never knitted a pair. People say that trousers are the hardest thing to make, and that is so true. They were definitely not easy to make, and to be honest, they didn't actually go according to plan. I knitted the trousers in half Milano because I wanted to achieve a very structured fabric. The trousers were made out of cotton, and cotton was actually not my first choice. As I was mentioning before, I would have preferred a merino wool. As you all know, cotton is quite heavy, so I would have preferred a merino wool, which would have been much lighter. Initially, I wanted to have front pockets, so I'm going to talk a bit about how I approached making them. I drafted a little pattern and I knitted 3 pieces for each pocket. The actual pocket, I made it from 2 panels, So the visible part, which I knitted in half Milano just as the trousers, and then the rest of it in 2 plies of jersey. And the facing of the pocket I knitted in jersey, but only 1 ply, so it wasn't so bulky at the end. I had to give up on the pockets because the fit of the trousers was not right, so the waist part was a bit too big. So when I removed the pockets, I was able to make everything a bit tighter, and it does seem like I have pockets on them, but it's fake. The most important thing was that I managed to make them fit better afterwards. I would have remade them, but I didn't have the time to do that, so I just had to make them work. If you'd like to learn more about how I made these trousers, I uploaded 2 videos on Patreon showing the entire process. I'm going to leave a link for my Patreon in the description down below if you'd like to check that out. I upload extra content there, and you can support my channel this way. And also to say about the time, it took me about 5 days to complete the trousers, maybe a bit more, but around 5 days. Moving on to the last piece I made is the top for the second outfit. I love how the top came out. My main focus was the sleeve, and I wanted to shape it so it molded onto the body. So I wanted the sleeve panel to go from the sleeve all the way to the front panel without linking it. Here are some images with the development of this panel. Definitely the thing that took longest from this top was figuring out this panel, but that is my favorite part. I love developing stitches and make things work. Also, I added a little crochet detail on the sleeve. I love crocheting as much as I love knitting. These are some samples which are so cute, and even though I didn't use them, I am glad I developed them because I can use them for a future project. And these are my final outfits. The model is just gorgeous. It was a pleasure to work with her. I'm going to link her Instagram in the description if you would like to work with her. She's in London and she is great. Also, can I just say how amazing the clothes fitted her? It's like I made them for her, not for myself. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to be part of this contest. I loved every bit. I feel like I've learned so much, and to be honest, I feel like I grew as a designer and as a knitter. Please let me know what you thought. Follow me on Instagram for more knitting inspiration. I knit all the time and I post there almost every day. Thank you so much for all the support so far, and thank you for watching my videos. I will see you next time. Bye! Love you! Love you!